So I might want to say, I'm going to share that on Facebook. I'm not, I'm going to cancel it, but I might want to, and I might write something in here to say how great it is, then I shall share it. Cancel that. So you could have somebody doing that for you. And same with Twitter. You could put this out. So you've built up an audience of Twitter followers. So you send that out. Look what I've got. I have this wonderful product that we have just launched. Or somebody doing it for you. Look at this great product I've just found. You must check it out. And if they've got 300 Twitter followers, you've got potentially 300 people that may actually look and click on that and have a look. And out of that 300, you might get 3 sales. Brilliant. You might get none, but you may just get 3. And then obviously you can send it out to Pinterest. So same thing. Here it is. It's there. Okay? Put it out there. Put some information in. Put it, create a board. Get it out. Yeah, and then you can post it on Twitter as well. So they are giving you all of the tools that you need to move it forward. You've just got to do a little bit of work. Right, now I said we'd talk about postage. Now postage is becoming a really, really big, hot issue for a lot of people. Postage on eBay, you need to be doing free post. You need to be offering next day guaranteed delivery. Okay? That goes without saying. There is no argument about it. That's what you've got to do if you want to get your items out to customers. It is as simple as that, guys. You want to get your items out. You want to get it listed on eBay. You want to get it high ranking. You've got to offer those particular things. So what you need to do is decide how you're going to do it, whether you're going to use eBay, whether you're going to use your own. Okay. Well, let's have a look. Packaging, posting, how do I offer free post? Okay. You need to do it. What you want to be doing with your postage is you want to be working out what your average is. So let us say your average on postage is 30 parcels a week. Okay, let's just say we're doing 30 parcels a week. Simple as that, nice and easy. Just waiting for Excel to open up. There we go. Let's open up a spreadsheet and we'll move it across. Okay. So just for the fun of it. Okay. So you do 30 parcels a week. And you know that you have a number of different postage costs. Okay. So you have 30, and let's say your total cost for that week was £180. Okay, so what you're now going to do is divide 180 by 30. So your average postage cost is £6. Okay, so some of that might have been £4.50, some of that might have been £8.99, some of it may be £14, some of it might have been £1.98, depending on what you're selling. Now I'm being very, very random here, and I'm doing that for a purpose, because what you've got to do is decide on how you're going to do things with your products. So you've done that, and let's say we've got 52 weeks. So you're then going to have an auto sum of that, okay, multiplied by that. So that tells you you're spending £9,360 a year on postage. Yeah, it's still £6. It doesn't matter how you do it, it's still £6. So what you then got to do is say, okay, postage and packing, or just postage, is £6. Therefore, what do I need as an average? And let's say you need £7 as an average to cover yourself off. So you're possibly going to have a £6.99 postage fee. What you're going to do is, whatever your price of your product, so let's say your product is £50, you're going to add £7 to it, so you're going to make it £57 rather. Or, as I would do it, I would make it £56.97. Okay, so you're going to put your price to sell at that. Now, I know there is an awful lot of objection from people saying, yeah, but that's not covering my postage, because my postage for that is £8.99. It is your average. Work out your averages. Find what your mean average is, and you're going to win on some, you're going to lose on others. Yeah, some of you are going to do okay, some of you aren't. So you need to decide what your averages are going to be. And if you can decide on what your averages are going to be, you can then put that as your free post. And as long as you get somewhere close, or better still, slightly more, then you're going to be doing okay. People want free post. Free post is what is now required. Okay, so I've very basically covered off that. There is an awful lot more that we can do on this. And of course, as you know, there is a DVD on postage and packaging, which we go into the whole issue of postage, how to deal with it, how to calculate it, how to work it out, how to buy your packaging, how to buy your postage, and that is available through our website or through our eBay store or even our Amazon store. So now then, I've had a quick look at Web Interpret, which was a question earlier, and I'm not too personally impressed with it. It doesn't appear to have moved on much from where it was some 2 years or so ago when I first had a look at it. It's another package which has been brought in. It does a reasonable-ish job, but what I will say is, if you want to go onto international selling, there is nothing better than making sure the listings are done properly and individually. You're paying for some services here, folks, if you're using people like Web Interpret and Linworks and things like that. The only problem is, are you getting value for money from those services? And some of them, I've got to say, you've got to ask the question. There are issues using all bits of software, and when you bring in third parties, if you need to do some of the basic changes, you are always going to have issues. So although there is a good marketplace and it is a tool, it may not always be the right tool to the product that you're listing. It's always worth looking at the offshore sites and doing them as a standalone to start with and seeing how that works. Even if you're going to use something like Google Translate or another translation system, it is still worth doing it from the point of view of, I'm saying yourself, doing it in the eBay store, even if that's outsourced. And I have people over here in France who will convert everything for you into French. I've got people who will convert into German and all the rest of it. What you're getting then is a bespoke offering rather than an electronic offering through a great big company. You're getting a bespoke offering. Anyway, now we're about to go into part 2, which is looking at Amazon. Now this one was pre-recorded purely because of the massive amount of content that I'm about to deliver to you. If I was doing it completely live without recording some of it and chopping out the bits that are taking a bit of time, this would have gone on for 5 or 6 hours. So it has been pre-recorded, and that link is coming up to you right now. Now, one of the areas to look at for you has got to be Amazon. Now, I know a lot of people who are selling on eBay do not think that they can sell on Amazon, or they do not want to move and sell on Amazon because they find it fairly complex to do the listings. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can do the listings. One of them is the standard method, and the standard method is where you go in, you put in the barcode of an item, see if it already exists, and sell yours next to somebody else's. Now, as a lot of you know, that is not a method that I think is a long-term viable proposition, purely because if you do that and somebody else does that, and let's say 4 or 5 other sellers all do that, all you've got is competition, and it is the fastest to the bottom price, which means you could end up selling your product and paying the customer to take it. In other words, selling your product at a loss. It's something you've got to be really, really careful with on eBay as well as on Amazon. And again, I will hear a number of people say, oh, the fees are too expensive, the fees are too expensive. No, they're not. Simple statement. No, they are not. If you sell on your website and you use AdWords, let us say that you pay 50p per click on AdWords, and it takes 10 clicks to get 1 sale. That has cost you £5. Your fees on the product on eBay or Amazon are going to be pretty comparable to that sort of price. If you are using SEO, search engine optimization, and you are paying a third party for your search engine optimization, that is a cost. And how much is that per product that you sell per week? Now, I know a lot of SEO people will give you a fixed price, £50 a week, £100 a week, £500 a week, depending on the level that you are at, and some companies will spend thousands. But what does that work out in a cost per sale? So let us say you are only selling 10 items a week. I'm just doing this to keep it simple, and the SEO people are charging you £50 a week, then it's costing you £5 per item, the same as pay per click. And assuming your margins are somewhere similar, that could actually be more than your Amazon or eBay fee. So what you have to do is look at the fees that you get charged by Amazon, by eBay, by PayPal, by credit card companies. If you're a credit card taker, you need to look at those fees as marketing costs. Try and put them into a different bracket. Try and swap the thinking over into something slightly different, and think of those fees as being marketing cost rather than physical cost. And if you get on board with the fact that it's marketing cost, and then you start using the marketing tools that you're able to use within eBay and Amazon, which will not cost you any more than the fee that you're paying in most cases, then you will find that your sales will go up. The world is changing, and you've got to get to grips with this. It is changing. There is far more competition in these marketplaces than there ever was before, and guess what? New people are joining every day. Our competition in this marketplace is increasing day by day. So you need to know where your numbers are, you need to know where your competition is, and you need to decide on the products that you're going to sell. And some of these decisions are going to be tough decisions. I have made them. And those of you that know me well know that going back a few years, I had a load of staff, I had a massive warehouse, we were picking and packing, and at peak times we had 24-hour shifts going. Now I don't have any of that. Other people do it all for me. It's automated. But I have made those changes. I used to sell a range of product which was Best Way products. Best Way is a brand, and it is a worldwide brand, and it is a really, really good brand. I can no longer compete with other independents or other big players in the marketplace and make margin. I do not sell that brand anymore. I got out of that brand quite a few years ago when all of the other competition started catching up, and all we were doing was a race to the bottom on price. So I was selling product and making 20 or 30 pence per sale. That isn't good profit. To me, that is not good profit. I want to be making pounds, euros, dollars per sale, depending which country I'm selling it in. I don't want to be making cents, pennies per sale. I want the bigger number. So I have to change my mentality, I have to change my thought process, and I have to change my product range. And a product that I have today might only have a shelf life for me of 18 months. Because if everybody else jumps up and starts selling it and copying it and finding new and different ways to get it to the marketplace, which actually undercut my profit margin, I'm going to say to that supplier, it's been good doing business with you, thank you very much, however I won't be placing an order with you anymore, because... And that is how you've got to look at this marketplace. So, going back to what we're looking at now, if you are not selling on Amazon, then seriously look to sell on Amazon. If all of your stuff is on eBay and you're thinking, how do I get this over to Amazon? It is a nightmare. Some of you guys have got thousands and thousands of listings that you've got to get from eBay to Amazon. Well, I've got a little bit of good news for you. Now, it is still in beta testing. However, it seems to be working. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a little demonstration. So Amazon, if you're already selling on Amazon, you've already got your marketplace account set up, absolutely brilliant. If you haven't, then go on and do your bit of research and decide how you're going to sell on Amazon. And what we need to do is go in. This is a typical inventory listing on Amazon. This is at a shop level rather than a basic level. So we go add products via upload. Now don't worry about the technical side of this at the moment. And you can see I can upload products, and you can see I've been doing some product uploads here, and it'll send me back a report, and number of records with errors none, number of records with errors none. This one had 96 errors, and the error on those 96 were on the parent-child variation, and it wasn't actually an error. The system threw it up as an error, but when I interrogated the error, it actually showed that it was not an error. It was absolutely spot on, purely because it was a variation. But this variation field for these products here and for this one here were on a different spreadsheet. Now on this one, you see here, and I know I'm getting technical, so just don't worry about it. On this one here, I loaded up 330 products, and all 330 had an error. When I had a look at that error, so I reopened the spreadsheet, I had put some information in an incorrect column. So that column wasn't recognized. I'd actually put hyperlinks for photographs in the wrong column. So very, very, very simple error, and very, very simple to be rectified. And when you view your processing report, you can actually view that, and it will tell you exactly what the error is, and it will give you links that you can go and interrogate it at a deeper level. And if when you go and interrogate it at a deeper level and go, duh, okay, I see what I did, which is what normally happens to me, I can then change it, upload it, done. If you go in and you interrogate the report and it just doesn't make sense, what do? You go for help. You call them. It's as simple as that. You phone them up, you have a log or batch ID here, a log registration number here, you phone them up, you give them that registration number, that batch ID number, that log, they will look at the log and they will have a look at it and they will tell you what it is, and the chances are they'll say, oh, it's that one there, that column there, you actually put that in there, and that is you might have put an ampersand in for the word and it doesn't take it. It could be as simple as something like that. So you don't need to be worried, because you can see here, what was that, just over 1,000 there, 2,000 there, 300 there, 300, 400, 400, 500. So, you know, yeah, it works and it's easy. But okay, we're starting to get a bit technical, and for those of you that are thinking, oh my god, I don't look at this, just bear with me please. You can go and download your templates from here, hit the template button, and this looks really frightening. There's loads of online help, and if any of the people that are on this call need further help, then depending on your level of membership with our membership site, then you'll be able to come, and in some cases I may be able to work with you directly. And if I need to work with you directly and it's a large project, then obviously there is a chargeable scenario in there as well, but we can discuss that at a greater depth. We do actually offer services to some of our clients where we will do it for you. It's called our Done For You service, and we will look at scenarios like this and we will look at doing them for you. Each one is individually priced, so I can't say it's going to cost you X and you get Y. It depends on what you're doing. You might have 50 products, you might have 5,000 products, you might have 15,000 products, you might have 50,000 variations with all your sizes, colours, etc, etc. So any project on the Done For You service we look at and we price accordingly, and I have a team of experts that work with us and will get it from A to B. So there is an opportunity for you to work with us if you don't want to do the work, and in all fairness, you should be selling your products, you should be sourcing new stock, you should be dealing with customer questions. You shouldn't really be sitting there thinking, I'm not going to deal with the customers, I'm not going to deal with the sales, I'm not going to deal with that rep who's trying to sell me some product because I've got to list this. You actually need to think about investing in yourself a little bit and invest in the people that can do it for you. And let's say you come to us and you've got a 5,000 project. The chances are that's going to take us a day to 2 days tops to actually go through that, upload it, get it synced, get it sorted and get it done. And on that basis, how many sales would you have made in those 2 days? How many customers would you have dealt with their queries? How much more productive could you have been in your business if it took a day to 2 days for somebody outside to actually take everything that you've got and list it for you, pictures included, so that you can go ahead? So I'm just throwing things out there so that you can see where I'm coming from. It's about getting your products in front of the customers in the quickest way possible, but also the best way possible, so that you can drive your sales forward and you can continue driving your visibility and your credibility in this arena forward, in this industry. So These are all the templates that you will use. So this is from the template loader. Now, one thing I want to talk about very quickly about selling on Amazon is where you've got these little red stars. These are areas you need to get approval from Amazon for you to sell in them. These are known as, if you like, high risk areas. They're areas where A, the competition is good, but B, you cannot afford to be trying to pull a fast one. If you want to do the things like, well, I'm going to buy this really cheap crappy product, I'm going to pass it off as something absolutely brilliant, and I'm going to sell thousands of them, you ain't going to last in this marketplace too long, because you will have your legs chopped off. It won't take long for them to actually see what you're doing and close your account. When you are selling on the eBay platform, especially the way eBay are driving their business to be as customer friendly as Amazon, you need to be really good. You need to have good products, you need to give excellent customer service, you need to adhere to the return policies, you need to offer those return policies, you need to offer free shipping, you need to start thinking about offering free international shipping. Scary, yes, but very profitable if you do it correctly. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you need to be looking at international shipping. You also need to be looking at having your products translated into whatever language you're going to sell in. So let's say you're going to sell on the French platform. Then don't rely on Google Translate on a French user's computer. Rely on the fact that you can actually have it translated and have your French site with French words, because the French person, and me living in France, I'm seeing this more and more because I'm getting involved with some of the French business opportunities here. The people in France, if they're searching Google for a television, they're going to tap it into Google spelt in the French way. Now, the spelling may not be massively different for television, but you've got all the little symbols that they use above the letters. You've got the different endings of the words. You've got the different letters that they may use to the ones we use. Some of the words may be very similar, but they'll have some distinct differences. You need those distinct differences in your titles and in your keywords, because you've got to remember, oh, I'll list everything in France and I'll list it in English. Google Translate can do it all for me. But Google.fr is Google.fr. So Google.fr, when I'm searching in France under Google.fr, I am putting the French spelling in, and I am coming up with the results. Now, if I put the English spelling in, I will still come up with some results, but I won't come up with many. So be ahead of your competition. There are so many of the competition out there that are not using translation technology or translation services. Oh, and by the way, if you need translation services, yes, we can help with that as well. If you need French translation services, I can really help with that, because I am working 80% of my time from my office in France. The other 20% of my time I'm wherever else in the world, whether it's UK or whether it's somewhere else. But 80% of my time I'm here in France. So I have got lots of people around me that are willing and eager to do translation work. We could go through a whole spreadsheet for somebody. So if you've got 5,000 items, for argument's sake, listed in the UK on .co.uk and you want to move them over to .fr, you can either do one of two things. You can go with Google Translate or one of the automated translation services. They're okay, they're adequate, they've got a reasonable accuracy rate, probably in excess of 80%. However, if you have got high-end products, so if you're on low-end product, if you're on margins where your margins are as low as just pennies or a few cents, then, you know, yeah, stick with the automated systems because they're not costing you anything. But if you're selling products at a higher price bracket in a premium range where you're getting good margin, invest in that. Because if you're getting £100, €100, $150 for every product that you sell, well, let's say each product line costs you $10 for argument's sake to have it translated properly by a person and not by a machine, so you get the complete authentic spelling right and you get the authentic way the keywords are spelled, as if it was a Parisian or a Breton or somebody in the south of France searching. You get all that done correctly. If you're selling product that has got high margin on it, invest in yourself and invest in your product. You will sell more, because the people that are searching in their own language, not in an automated version of their own language. So just have a think about that, and if you need more assistance on that, you know where we are. You can make contact with us, we can look at it, we can price it up, and you can make a decision on what you want to do. There's an awful lot of automated systems being offered out there, and they are absolutely fine. I would tend to use those only on low value or low return products, or for marketing purposes where you are just marketing to create more data, more lists, more opportunities, or more cross-sells, whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're just transaction led, then low margin stuff, you need to go down the most cost effective or free route. If you're selling high end, go the other way and make sure it is done correctly. And then every product that goes on, you have got a chance in this highly competitive market, you've got a chance of it getting seen by a customer. And at the end of the day, that is what you want. You are trying, you're writing a fantastic description, hopefully by now. You understand keywords, you understand how your titles have got to be, you understand how to link videos to products, both on eBay and Amazon. On eBay, you can use the video and embed it in. We've gone through that. And if some of you people still haven't, then you need to either join our membership site or go to one of our shops and buy one of the DVDs that we've done on how you can do that, or talk to me direct. And if you need to go on one of our training courses, you can do that. If you need to come over to one of our training courses in France, you can also do that. There is lots of ways that we are here to actually help you grow your business, because don't forget, by growing your business, we're growing our business, and we're actually making a difference, because we're getting more and more people to the top of the tree. You are then becoming in the top 10% of sellers because you have the knowledge, rather than the bottom 90% that have some of the knowledge, or the worst case scenario, the 40% and below that just plod along and hope for the best and wonder why it doesn't work.